I'll never forget the day everything changed. Some college punk hurt my little girl, my 13-year-old daughter, and had the nerve to throw a video of it online. He thought having a senator for a father made him untouchable. He was about to learn how wrong he was. I was in my garage, working on my Harley, when my phone buzzed. I wiped my hands on a rag and answered, not thinking much of it. Monica Hayes' voice was trembling. Amber Scott's in the hospital. There's a video. Ethan Cole. Everyone's seen it. The wrench slipped from my hand and hit the concrete floor with a loud clang. What video? I asked, my voice already shaking. Just come to St. Mary's, now. Within minutes, 60 of my brothers, the Steel Angles, roared down the highway behind me. 60 engines howling like thunder, following their president to the hospital. When we got there, I saw Amber Scott lying motionless in that hospital bed. My wife, Monica Hayes, was sitting beside her, crying her heart out. I could barely breathe. What happened? I asked, my voice rough. Dr. Mercer met my eyes, then pulled me aside. Your daughter was at a party, he said quietly. Someone slipped something into her drink. She was attacked while she was unconscious, and the video was posted online. For a long second, nobody said a word. The air got so heavy, it felt like the world had stopped spinning. Who did it? I asked, my jaw tight. Ryan Calder, the doctor said finally. Senator Calder's boy, from the university. You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone in that room knew that name. The senator owned half the damn city. Judges, cops, prosecutors. His kid was supposed to be above the law. At least, that's what people thought. Amber Scott woke up 3 hours later. Her first words broke me inside. Everyone at school's seen it, she whispered. I don't want to live anymore. I took her hand and knelt beside her bed. You're not gonna die, baby, I told her, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. Please, Dad, don't do anything stupid. I kissed her forehead. I won't do anything stupid, I said quietly. I'll do something smart. That night, we called church. Every single Steel Angel showed up. The room was thick with anger, like smoke that wouldn't clear. We all know the system won't touch him, I said. So we'll handle this our way. Brick cracked his knuckles like he was getting ready for work. When do we move? He asked. First things first, we need proof, I said. Viper, our tech guy, the one who lives in code and solder, got on it. Within hours, he'd peeled back Ryan Calder's life like it was butter. Computers, phones, cloud backups, the whole mess. Boss, you need to see this, Viper said, looking like the color had left his face. He showed me the files. Brad had 43 videos, different girls, all drugged, all unconscious. He'd been saving them like trophies for years. And look at these messages, Viper added, scrolling. Brad had been bragging to his buddies. Got the biker's daughter, youngest yet. Dad'll sort it if anything goes wrong. Like clockwork. Download everything, I told him. We're going to need it. 3 nights later, Brad stumbled out of a frat party around 2 in the morning, drunk, loud, thinking the world still owed him something. His new Mercedes wouldn't start. Strange for a car that cost more than most people's rent. Need a hand? A voice called from the shadows. Brad spun around and froze. 15 of us stepping out of the dark. Color drained from his face. My father is a senator. You can't touch me, he blurted. I walked forward slow, keeping my hands visible. Your father ain't here, I said. Call the police if that's what you want. Try it, I told him. Go ahead, call them. Tell whoever answers you're alone with the men whose daughter you destroyed. His hands were shaking when he pulled out his phone. No bars. Viper had thought of that. A jammer had killed the signal. What do you want? Brad whimpered. Justice, I said. We took him to an old warehouse out by the edge of town, the kind of place where problems that needed final answers got handled. By the time we arrived, he was begging like a cornered animal. Please, he kept saying. Money. My father will pay anything. I pulled up a chair and sat down across from him. They had him zip-tied to a pole, trembling. "You drugged my 13-year-old, I said, voice low and steady. "You filmed her. You put it online." He broke down into sobs. "Please don't kill me," he choked. "I'll do anything." "Anything?" I asked. "Is any of it worth confessing?" We filmed him. We recorded him saying every single thing, the parties, the messages, the videos. He signed his own downfall in front of a camera. Amber Scott woke up 3 hours later. Her first words broke me inside. "Everyone at school's seen it," she whispered. "I don't want to live anymore." I took her hand and knelt beside her bed. "You're not gonna die, baby," I told her, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Please, Dad, don't do anything stupid." I kissed her forehead. "I won't do anything stupid," I said quietly. "I'll do something smart." That night, we called church. Every single Steel Angel showed up. The room was thick with anger, like smoke that wouldn't clear. "We all know the system won't touch him," I said, "so we'll handle this our way." We made him talk. All 43 girls, every single one. "How?" I asked. "How'd he get away with it?" His voice cracked. "My father, he paid people off. Cops, prosecutors, whoever he had to. They all looked the other way. Brad talked fast, trying to buy himself mercy with words. "Please," he begged. "I confessed. I told you everything. Just let me go." I stood up slowly. "Oh, we're letting you go," I said. "But not before we're finished." Brick and Dash came in, rolling a couple of big metal barrels. The smell of tar hit the air immediately, thick, sharp, and impossible to mistake. Brad's eyes went wide. "No, no, please, don't." He tried to fight, but fear made him weak. They stripped away everything that made him feel untouchable. His fancy clothes, his gold watch, that smug fraternity ring. All the symbols of who he thought he was. "You like making videos?" I asked him. "Good. We're about to make one too." We didn't use anything that would kill him, just warm roofing tar, sticky and slow. It wasn't about pain. It was about humiliation. A taste of the shame he'd given others. Brad screamed when the first bit of tar touched his skin. By the time we were done, he was covered head to toe, black and shiny under the warehouse lights. Then came the feathers. We'd brought old pillows just for this moment. When it was over, he looked ridiculous, like some broken-down caricature of the man he used to be. "Please," he sobbed. "Stop, please." I stepped closer. "Did Amber Scott ask you to stop?" I said quietly. He froze. No more words. Just shaking. We kept filming, every second. Him covered in tar and feathers, crying. Confessing again, this time with the weight of what he'd done written all over him. I looked right into the camera. "Here's what happens next," I said. "This video's going everywhere. Every news station, every social feed, every person who ever called you friend." "No!" Brad screamed. "That'll ruin me." "Like you ruined 43 lives," Brick said flatly. But we weren't done. Blaze walked in carrying a small case. Inside was a tattoo gun, humming low. "Hold still," he said. "This is gonna sting." Brad tried to jerk away, but there was nowhere to go. When it was over, one word stood out in thick black letters across his forehead. Predator. I found out pretty quickly that prison has its own kind of justice, and guys like Brad don't last long inside. The other inmates had no mercy for men who hurt kids. The tattoo across his forehead made him an easy target the second he walked through those gates. After a few rough days, he begged the guards to put him in solitary. They granted his wish. Now he spends 23 hours a day locked away with nothing but his thoughts, and that word carved into his skin, staring back at him every time he catches his reflection. After Brad's confession went public, 43 girls came forward with their own stories. The trial that followed wasn't long or merciful. It was quick, harsh, and left no room for doubt. Brad Willington was sentenced to 90 years in federal prison. His father, Senator Willington, got 35. The warehouse video was never officially tied to the Steel Angels, though everyone knew better. On paper, Brad had been beaten by unidentified vigilantes. Off the record, everyone knew exactly who'd handed him his punishment. I went to see him once after he'd been locked up, just once. He wasn't the same man anymore. The fire was gone. He looked hollow, defeated. He'd tried to have the tattoo removed, but it left ugly scars that still spelled out the word, faint but impossible to ignore. "You destroyed me," Brad whispered through the glass. "No," I told him quietly. "You destroyed yourself. We just made sure the world saw it." He swallowed hard, then asked, "Your daughter, is she okay?" "That's none of your concern," I said. "I'm sorry," he sobbed. "Sorry you got caught," I corrected. "Sorry you finally learned you're not untouchable. Sorry your daddy couldn't pull you out of this one." The Steel Angels were never charged. No one could trace a single shred of evidence back to them. Brad Willington's name became a warning. A story parents told about how even the powerful can fall when real justice comes knocking. Not the kind served by judges or lawyers, but the kind delivered by fathers who love their daughters more than they fear the law. Eventually, the tar was scrubbed off and the feathers were gone, but that video never died. It's still out there, floating around the internet. Brad crying, confessing, covered in feathers like some pathetic broken man. Every few months it pops up again, goes viral all over, and his shame gets reborn for a whole new crowd to see. In prison, Brad counts days. 90 years equals 30,150 days. He served 1825. So far only 31,325 to go. That cell, Brad's got nothing left but time. He counts it like it'll make any difference. 90 years, 32,850 days. He's already burned through 1,825 of them. Just over 31,000 left to go. Meanwhile, the Steel Angels still ride. Let Stugwe still protect, still deliver justice when the system fails, look out for our own. Still step in when the system looks the other way. Because sometimes the law just isn't enough. Sometimes evil needs to be exposed, humiliated, marked and caged, and locked away where it can't hurt anyone again. And sometimes a senator's son needs to learn that real Golden Boy has to learn the hard way that power doesn't come from his daddy's money. It name or money. Real power comes from righteous fury and danger, from brothers who refuse to let evil win, won't let evil win, no matter how deep it's buried under privilege and politics. Ryan Calder learned that lesson the night he was covered in tar and feathers, cry-sobbing like the coward he'd always been. The word predator might have faded from his forehead skin now, but it's burned, carved deep into his soul forever, where it'll never wash away. That's what happens when you murdered a biker's daughter. That's what real justice looks like.